News alert coming in. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo has arrived in India. In fact, these are live visuals we're getting you from the capital of India, New Delhi. You can see United States Secretary of State Mike Pompeo getting down the stairs as he's greeted by the Indian delegation at the airport in New Delhi. Remember, this is live visuals that we are getting you from the airport in New Delhi. In just a while from now, India is all set to host the third edition of the 2+2 ministerial dialogue with officials from the United States of America. In just a short while from now, that meeting will begin. And as you can see, U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo has arrived in India. Along with him and accompanying him on this trip is U.S. Defense Secretary Mark Esper, who has also come to India, and the duo will be holding talks with their Indian counterparts, that is India's Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar and Defense Minister Rajnath Singh. Now, the meeting will take place in New Delhi. It's a two-day meeting which will be held today and tomorrow. Indian Defense Minister Rajnath Singh and Foreign Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar will meet Mike Pompeo and Mark Esper. Now, during this visit, the Defense Secretary of the United States, Mark Esper, will also be visiting the Tri-Services Guard of Honor as well. During this two-day meeting, the main focus, of course, will be on China and how to contain China's growing aggression and expansionist ambitions in this region. Mike Pompeo, before leaving for India, had said that during the upcoming visit to India, the two nations will discuss how free nations can work together against the threats posed by the Chinese Communist Party. Now, a senior official of the U.S. State Department also concurred that talks will happen on China. He said, and I quote, "Certainly, I think the situation on the line of control will be and probably be discussed at some point during this meeting, and we are watching the situation very closely at the LAC. I think both the sides have expressed a desire to de-escalate the violence." Now, India and China are in the middle of an ongoing military standoff that started in April this year. The situation worsened in June after 20 Indian soldiers had died during clashes in Galwan Valley. China also suffered casualty, but China did not reveal the official figure of the number of casualties that it had suffered. Now, the focus will also be on basic exchange and cooperation agreement between India and America. US officials say that agreements are work in progress and that they cannot commit to anything as of now, but the meeting is all set to begin anytime now. If signed, then agreement will be the final military pact signed to increase interoperability and exchange of information. 3 such pacts have already been signed between India and US over the last 2 decades. But we continue to get you live visuals from New Delhi, where US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo arrived in India. And this is a highly significant visit by Mike Pompeo and Mark Esper, because this visit comes barely a few days before America goes to polls. So even though there are just a few days left for elections in America, senior US officials have arrived in India for 2+2 talks, and it signifies the importance that the US administration is placing on improving ties with India and strengthening the Quad partnership as well. Remember, earlier this month, India invited Australia to be part of the Quad naval exercises, the Malabar exercises. Australia this time will be part of the Malabar exercises more than a decade after its last appearance. So America and India putting a lot of emphasis on not only improving their bilateral relations, but also strengthening the Quad partnership, which includes Australia and Japan as well, to counter China's expansionist ambitions and aggressiveness in the region. And stay with WION, because we'll continue to get you all the latest updates as Mike Pompeo and Mark Esper will hold talks 2+2 dialogue with their Indian counterparts, Dr. S. Jaishankar and Rajnath Singh, in just a short while from now.